Look, I know I said the Astro Megazord was likely to be my last Power Rangers acquisition, but don't blame me, this was sent to me by incredible person, friend and contributor to the show, Thomas. So if you have any comments about these toys, remember you're going to be bombarding them with your vitriol, not me, so don't even start. But in all seriousness, thanks again, Thomas. Now, I've said before, Power Rangers is for babies with big nappies, but with the Astro Megazord making such a big impression on me last year, maybe it's time to diaper up, because wowee, these toys are a good time. We'll take a look at each of them and get to the main event if you just sit down and shut up. Even if you're a sane individual, you'll be hard pressed to say the Megazord isn't a great looking robot. It's got a feel not unlike Voltron, which is no bad thing, a combination of clearly disparate parts with distinct colour schemes that come together beautifully. In fact, before we get to that, let's split them into their component parts. Ah, that's better. Okay, so there's 5 Zords, each being designed after a prehistoric beast of some kind. First up is the mighty T-Rex, and I'm very much taken with the proportions here, the posture, the little arms, the rigidity of it. You can open their mouth and move their legs around, and that's it, but it's super charming. Speaking of charming, let's have a look at this fun little mastodon. I do love modes like this, big chonkers with lots of love to give. Look at those lovely chrome tusks and articulated trunk, a real winner. Next up is the saber-toothed tiger, a big yellow cat who may pale in comparison to their Voltron counterpart in terms of heft, articulation, paint, build quality, in fact, in every way, but they remind me so much of my beloved robotic feline that I am feline fine about it. Sorry, I meant feeling fine, small typo there. Due to the nature of the transformation, you can do a little bit more with this wee fella, raising their head, presenting their arse to anyone who cares. I wish those legs had at least one joint in the middle though. The Triceratops trundles into view, and while it's not exactly packed with features, it's absolutely adorable. You can raise the tail up to let these blasters do their thing, and like his tiger pal, move his head up a little. Hardly the most exciting of the Zords, but look at his wee face! Finally, it's the pterodactyl, an absolute nightmare of a thing. I know they had constraints with this design, but it's just really not doing anything for me. You can attach these guns to the feet, like so, but I think I prefer sticking them to the T-Rex's back. Each Zord transforms into their appropriate limb mode with all the clicky joints and ratchets, making it a pleasing experience for me, Gavin. The T-Rex head stores away, leaving this section that opens up, revealing the Megazord head. We slip the big red boy into his new shoes, and they click into place. Then, you remove the Mastodon head, opening up the body and wrapping it around the T-Rex like a big winter coat. Finally, the pterodactyl folds in and clasps everything together at the front. These guns can go in the back once again, and the Mastodon head becomes a very odd but cool shield, and we can add this rather large sword into the mix. And isn't that a great looking toy? It can effectively stand perfectly still, and little more, but you know, you've seen the show, that's pretty accurate anyway. I've got a lot of love for the simplicity of the Megazord. You can break it down and assemble it again in under a minute, and it's a lot of fun, if you like that kind of thing. Next up is a favourite of mine, the Dragonzord. This bijou kaiju has got a robust look and feel, and I adore the colours on this lad. The gold highlights are just perfect. And with their sturdy nature and this switch on the back, you'd be forgiven for thinking that these two AA batteries power some kind of walking feature. But no, you flick the switch and... Okay, right, you know, that's quite enough of that. Impressive that it works after all this time though. The most you can really get out of this boy is an awkward version of the robot that he would do on the dance floor at his daughter's wedding, but I still love it. There's 2 other fun ways to interact with the Megazord. First, the whole thing can come apart, with this noisy light module coming out entirely, along with the tail, and the Dragonzord body can become another torso for the Zords, leaving the T-Rex time to run some errands and get a coffee. It's a fun idea, while it doesn't have the same kind of punch as the original Megazord, it's still a cool feature. The tail and the light module can come together with this staff and become a huge drill weapon too. There's supposed to be a handle for it, we're missing that, but honestly I don't think he looks too interested in holding it anyway. The other interaction is a little bit more awkward, but it does use all the Zords, the Dino Megazord. So you've got this other weird jacket style combination that rests on top, like they're trying to sneak into a horror film while underage. Dragonzord is more of a fun add-on to the original Zords than it is a great toy on its own. It offers pretty much zero in terms of features when added to the others, but it's so ridiculous you can't help but appreciate it. Speaking of ridiculous, our final Zord is exactly that, Titanus. A huge robotic Brachiosaurus. You might think that Titanus can't do that much, and you're absolutely right, but plug 2 big C batteries into the boy, taking a second to appreciate the original Japanese sculpting on the underside, and he's supposed to roll along, but unfortunately I think time has caught up with the big fella. When he rolls, the little arms go up, and to be honest, That is pretty much it. But again, so charming and large, it's hard not to feel some love for him. And then the time comes to get serious. You can fold out the front and attach the Dragonzord's light module, remove Titanus' tail and separate them, forming two huge lasers, and plug the Dragonzord tail up thermometer lane. And with that, there's only one more thing for it. Pop Titanus' arms off, attach them to the Dino Megazord, and then inside Titanus, creating the Ultra Megazord. I mean, fuck's sake. What a ridiculous thing to behold. Incredible stuff. You know, the original came with a chain you could attach Titanus' head to and have the Megazord hold, but I'm kind of glad we're missing that piece, as it means Titanus can go wherever they want. I mean, just, you know, geez, I know your mileage is going to vary depending on your tolerance for Power Rangers, but honestly, wowee. You know, what a daft thing to exist, and good on them. You know, the sheer weight of the combined form, the space it takes up more space than Manta Force, and that shouldn't be possible. And yet, big thanks to Tomas again, and everyone who supports on Patreon at patreon.com/TRDQ. A special thanks to patron Josh Garvey, whose favourite toy is the Lego Millennium Falcon, and my wife has a few of these, and they are packed with details, so yes, a good choice. Bye-bye.